The live taping of the Kelly Clarkson show was supposed to be light-hearted when Hollywood actor Mark Wahlberg came on as a guest to promote his latest film. Kelly, known for her warm personality, opened with jokes about his fitness routines and legendary movie roles. At first, Mark laughed along, flexing for the crowd and cracking jokes, but as the interview turned more personal, Kelly brought up Wahlberg's controversial past and asked about moments he had regrets over. The air shifted instantly, the crowd chuckled nervously, and Mark's face hardened. "I thought we were here to talk about the movie, Kelly," he said sharply, the smile wiped clean from his face. Kelly, trying to smooth the tension, laughed it off and said audiences love to hear about the real journey behind the actor, but Mark wasn't having it. "My journey is none of your business," he snapped, leaning back in his chair. Gasps rippled through the studio audience, and Kelly visibly blinked in surprise before attempting to push forward with another question. Kelly asked about balancing his personal life with Hollywood demands, but Mark interpreted it as another dig. "Are you trying to psychoanalyze me on your show?" he barked. Kelly froze, then answered calmly, "No, I'm just asking what everyone wants to know." The tension grew unbearable as the audience, unsure whether to laugh or stay silent, sat frozen. Mark leaned forward, pointing slightly, and said, "This is exactly what's wrong with these interviews. You invite me here, then you try to embarrass me on national TV." At that point, Kelly's producers scrambled behind the scenes, signaling her to wrap the segment. But Mark wasn't finished. He ripped off his microphone, stood up, and said loudly, "You're out of line, Kelly. I don't need this." The audience erupted in gasps as he stormed toward the stage exit. Kelly, holding her composure, called after him, "Mark, this is live TV. We can talk this out." He shot her one final glare before disappearing backstage. Security quickly followed, and the audience sat stunned, murmuring in shock. The cameras cut awkwardly back to Kelly, who tried to recover by addressing the audience directly. "Well, that just happened," she said, forcing a smile. Some audience members laughed nervously, but others looked uncomfortable, realizing they had just witnessed a meltdown that would dominate headlines within minutes. Producers quickly went to commercial break, but it was too late. Clips of Wahlberg ripping off his mic and storming off were already flooding Twitter and TikTok. Within an hour, as Wahlberg walk-off was trending worldwide. Fans argued fiercely. Some defended him, saying Kelly crossed a line, while others accused him of being unprofessional and disrespectful to a beloved host. Memes exploded online, showing Wahlberg mid-exit with captions like, "Say hi to your exit for me." Celebrities began chiming in as well, some subtly supporting Kelly, others sympathizing with Mark's frustration. The clash had gone viral in record speed. Backstage, insiders reported chaos. Mark had refused to return, yelling at crew members that the line of questioning was ambush journalism. Kelly, meanwhile, reportedly remained calm but shaken, telling producers she never expected that kind of reaction from him. Show staff tried to convince Mark to stay for damage control, but he left the building altogether, slamming a door behind him. Crew members described the mood as the most intense moment in show history. The following day, gossip outlets plastered the story across their front pages. Headlines like "Wahlberg explodes on Kelly Clarkson" and "Live TV meltdown, Mark storms out" dominated entertainment news cycles. Paparazzi chased Mark in Los Angeles, demanding comments, but he only muttered, "I don't have time for clowns," further fueling the fire. Meanwhile, Kelly addressed the drama briefly at the top of her next episode, saying, "I've always believed in tough but respectful conversations. Sometimes they go places you don't expect." Insiders at NBC debated whether the clash had damaged Kelly's reputation or boosted her ratings. Early data showed a massive spike in viewership and online engagement. suggesting that the chaos had ironically made her show more popular. Some executives even joked privately that they should send Mark a thank you card for the publicity. Still, public relations teams for both sides worked overtime to shape the narrative, as rumors spread that Kelly and Mark might reconcile in a future joint statement. By week's end, the clash had cemented itself as one of the most unforgettable moments in daytime television. Clips of Wahlberg walking off continued to dominate feeds, sparking endless debates about celebrity egos, talk show boundaries, and live TV unpredictability. Whether Mark was justified or out of line no longer mattered. What mattered was that viewers had witnessed raw, unscripted drama unfold in real time. And for Kelly Clarkson's show, it would forever be remembered as the day Hollywood's tough guy lost his cool and walked out in front of millions. Just days after the explosive walk-off, whispers began circulating in Hollywood that NBC executives were plotting something unprecedented. A surprise reconciliation episode between Kelly Clarkson and Mark Wahlberg. The idea, according to insiders, was to capitalize on the viral frenzy, bringing Mark back on set to clear the air in front of millions. Social media fanned the flames further when Wahlberg's PR team hinted in cryptic posts that he might set the record straight soon. Fans speculated endlessly. Would he apologize? Would Kelly confront him again? Or would the tension spiral into chaos once more? Kelly herself, though shaken by the incident, reportedly agreed to the idea. In private, she told producers that she believed in giving people a second chance, but wanted firm assurances that Mark would not ambush her or the audience with another meltdown. The show's producers scrambled, drafting talking points, scripting, light-hearted games, and even lining up surprise guests to ease tension. Yet beneath the glossy plan, everyone involved knew they were playing with fire. Putting two strong personalities back on stage after such a raw clash was like dropping a match into gasoline. The day of the reunion episode arrived, and anticipation was at a fever pitch. The studio audience had been briefed that they might witness TV history. Fans held their phones up, ready to capture anything. Kelly, calm but cautious, walked onto the stage to thunderous applause. "We've got a special guest today," she teased, her voice steady but her smile betraying nerves. When she introduced Mark Wahlberg, the crowd erupted with cheers and gasps. Mark entered with his signature swagger, flashing a forced grin as he sat across from Kelly. At first, things seemed cordial. Kelly complimented Mark on his latest project, and he responded with humor. The audience relaxed, clapping along as the pair exchanged polite small talk. But the peace was fragile, and cracks soon began to show. When Kelly brought up the infamous walk-off, asking gently if he had any regrets, Mark's jaw tightened. He leaned into the microphone and said, "Honestly, no. I don't regret standing up for myself. What I regret is being invited to a show that doesn't respect boundaries." The room went silent instantly, the tension slicing through the cheers like a blade. Kelly blinked, caught off guard, but she maintained her composure. "Mark, I wasn't trying to disrespect you. I just wanted to talk about your journey," she said. But Mark fired back, "You don't get to decide what my journey is, Kelly. That's my story, not yours to exploit." The crowd gasped, some booing softly, others shouting support. Kelly, visibly stung, shot back more firmly than before. "Mark, if you think asking questions is exploitation, maybe you're on the wrong stage." The audience erupted into nervous claps and shocked laughter. Suddenly, Mark leaned forward, slamming his hand on the table. "This is exactly what I'm talking about. You're twisting things to make me the bad guy." Kelly, no longer hiding her frustration, snapped back, "You're making yourself the bad guy." The studio audience exploded, half cheering Kelly, half booing Mark. The control room scrambled to decide whether to cut to commercial, but producers hesitated. This was ratings gold unfolding live. The shouting escalated, with Mark standing Up again, ripping off his microphone for the second time in less than 2 weeks. "I don't have to take this crap," he barked, glaring down at Kelly. She shot back, "Then maybe daytime TV isn't for you, Mark." The audience leapt to its feet, some chanting Kelly's name, others trying to defend Mark. The noise became deafening as the cameras struggled to keep up with the chaos. Security rushed in, but Mark waved them off and marched toward the stage exit. The crowd booed loudly this time, the atmosphere completely different from the first walk-off. Kelly stood tall, her voice booming over the chaos. "Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Wahlberg has left again." The audience roared with laughter and applause, and Kelly flashed a triumphant grin. The cameras cut abruptly to a commercial, but the damage, or rather, the spectacle, was already cemented. Online, the fallout was even bigger than the first time. Clips of Kelly's line, "Then maybe daytime TV isn't for you," circulated endlessly, hailed as the ultimate clapback. Fans crowned Kelly the queen of daytime drama, while Wahlberg's image took a serious hit. Hashtags like "No Kelly Clapback" and "J. Wahlberg Meltdown" trended for days. Even late-night hosts joined in, parodying the clash with comedic sketches. For Mark, what was meant to be a redemption arc had turned into a PR disaster of epic proportions. By the way,